brand new Flex high torque impact wrench. Find out what you think when we get back. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop 2 Reviews. We have the brand new Flex Power Tools FX1471. It's their half-inch high torque impact wrench. Obviously has a brushless motor. In fact, it's a sensorless brushless motor. Runs on their 24-volt system. Now, Flex is a brand new power tool company. Well, let me back up. They're really not a brand new power tool company. Flex has been around a long time. Their 24-volt lineup is a brand new line. The gray and black line of tools is a brand new line that will be exclusively at Lowe's, and you can get them now. You can order them. In fact, I checked on this one, and it looks like I could have it in 3 days at my local store. I believe a lot of the stores already have drills and impact drivers. So anyway, there's a complete new line of tools coming out from Flex. In fact, this is April 13th, and last night, April 12th, was the complete launch that Flex did. So brand new to the world, brand new to the country, brand new everywhere they're sold. Anyway, let's check out the high torque impact wrench, see what we think about it, because here's what they claim. They claim 1,150 foot-pounds of torque. They also claim 800 foot-pounds of tightening torque. So 1,150 of loosening torque and 800 foot-pounds of tightening torque. A lot of cool features on this and a lot of differences from what's already out there. So let's talk about it, then we'll use it and test it, then we'll come back and wrap it up. This is the Flex Power Tools half-inch high torque impact wrench. It runs on their 24-volt battery system, and it has 3 power modes. Really, it has 4 power modes. One of them is the auto mode. We'll talk about that here in a moment. And then you have 3 speed modes as well. As I mentioned, brushless motor technology. However, it has a sensorless brushless motor. That's really not true. It's not sensorless, but they've moved the sensors out of the motor to save space as well as to make things simpler and move them elsewhere. We'll talk on that at a later date on the specifics of that sensorless technology, but that's one of the things that Flex is bragging about right now is their sensorless brushless motors. Now the look of this tool is a bit unassuming just because of the kind of blacked out, grayed out, monotone look to it. I think it goes great for the garage because in a sense, you know, who cares when you're getting greasy hands all over it or getting dirt, dust all over it all the time anyway. I think it's a great look. The rubber overmolding is very good. It has like a diamond pattern here that's very aggressive to the grip so you can hold it well, but it's not uncomfortable whatsoever. And again, you get that rubber overmolding that starts down here at the battery base and flows all the way up to the bottom of the tool. You'll notice back here it says shock shield, and that shock shield technology, it's not talking about an electrical shock, but more so the shock of a high torque impact and what it takes. You know, you'll see the flexibility here, right here in the head. In fact, we've got some slow-mo footage of this actually working very well. So that's taking a lot of the shock and the impact out right here at the head so it's not flowing through the handle and into your hands as well as into the electrical components that are down here in the base of the tool and through the handle of the tool. So that's saving the battery, it's saving the electronics, it's saving a lot of the fatigue that's in your hand as well. Now the LED is down here on the base and shines pretty bright, so you get a decent LED blast from the bottom onto the fastener area. Hog ring style or friction ring style anvil on the half-inch anvil. And this tool is not a small tool, but at the same time it is a high torque. It's meant to be the beast of the impact wrenches. We've paired it with a 5 amp hour battery here because that's how you can get this kitted. So you can buy this as a kit for $299, as you see here. The 160 watt charger, as well as the 5 amp hour battery and the tool. Now, one thing really cool on these batteries is look at the fuel gauge here. So that lights up very bright and you can see that from both sides. So you can easily see how much life you have left in that battery just by pushing the button here on the front, and you see the nice bright green LED shining right there on the side of the battery. Now, if there's one thing that Flex knows, that is battery technology. And trust me, they know more than one thing. But my point is, they know how to build batteries. They know how to build chargers to charge those batteries. In fact, they can charge these about 50% faster than most others. And we'll show you that at a later date as well, where we'll talk about just the batteries and the chargers. But they have fans built into the charger that flows through the battery while on charge, so they can not only make this charge faster, but also charge cooler. The cooling technology in the battery itself also stays cooler even when being put to use. Now the speed modes here, in speed mode 1, you're going to get 0 to 500 RPM. So you get a variable speed trigger, so you can slow that about down to a crawl, all the way up to 500 RPMs. And then in mode 2, you're going to get 0 to 1,000 RPMs. So 0 to 1,000 RPMs. And then in mode 3, a full 2,000 RPMs. And again, you get that variable speed trigger. And then you're going to get up to 2,450 impacts per minute. As for size, the height is right at 11.5 inches with that 5 amp hour battery on it. So 11.5 is right there to the end of the black, and that's right at the top of the tool. And as far as length from tip to tail, you're looking at right at 9 inches, a little less than 9 inches from the tip of the anvil to the back of the tool. Now as far as the width, you're looking at right at 3.2 inches. This is not a small tool, but as I mentioned, this is a high torque impact wrench, so it's meant to be a beast. This is to do all the heavy work that we need done before moving up to a 3/4 or 1 inch impact wrench. Now let's get a weight on this guy as well. With the 5 amp hour battery, you're looking at 9 pounds. So 9 pounds even. As far as grams go, you're looking at 4,090 grams. So not a light tool whatsoever, but with the 5 amp hour battery, you're looking at 9 pounds. Okay, so today we're on the big end of our test rig, testing the new FLEX high torque impact wrench. So these larger nuts and bolts will withstand well over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Now the FLEX is rated at 1,150 foot-pounds of nut busting torque and 800 foot-pounds of tightening torque. So we're going to test the tightening side first. Now bear with us because we're going to have to do a little math here. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this, tighten each one of these, which is pretty typical, for 5 seconds. So I'm just going to do these 4 here because it would obviously strip these smaller fasteners. So we're going to tighten each one of these for 5 seconds each. Then we're going to use our torque multiplier as well as our torque wrench to back those off to get a reading so that we can back in to that tightening force. It should give us at least a window of what type of output we're doing with this tool. Then we'll come back and we'll do some nut busting torque or some loosening torque as well. So here we go, tightening force. And we're in 3, and make sure we're in tighten. Yep. Tighten. And by the way, I've got each one of these nuts backed off a couple of turns. So after it starts hitting, then I will count to 5 and move on to the next one. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but on all of those, the socket was still spinning even after 5 seconds. Could I go longer? Absolutely. I really don't know that I want to just keep pushing it. I think I want to get an idea of what type of force we're getting after 5 seconds. That's typical on the tightening force is what I want to check is after 5 seconds. But on these larger fasteners, as you can see, sometimes we're still getting rotations, which we are on all 4 of these. But let's go ahead and test and see what kind of torque we were able to apply to them. Okay, so bear with us here. What we have is a 6-to-1 gear reduction or a 6-to-1 torque multiplier. So whatever input we put here, it's putting out 6 times the force out here. So to remove this, if it takes, say, 100 foot-pounds, that should mean that we had about 600 foot-pounds of force on the other end of this to remove that nut. So here we go. And I need to flip this over. There we go. So it's reading 56 foot-pounds. Going to the next one. 64 foot-pounds. 62.9 foot-pounds. And 65.6 foot-pounds. So that doesn't sound like it's getting anywhere near the max of 800 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm going to go ahead and let's try hitting these for, say, 10 seconds. Now let's see if we got any increase by leaving that on longer. 64.3. 74.2. 90.6. 76. So just to give you an idea on how we would compute this, say, let's take this 90 foot-pounds here. If we took 90 foot-pounds and we multiplied times 6, because it's 6-to-1 ratio here, then basically we're putting 540 foot-pounds of input to back that faster off. Well, if you take that 540 and you divide by 0.8, which is kind of that factor of it takes 80% of the force to back something off as it does to tighten it, you're looking at 675 foot-pounds. So we're really in that window of 800 foot-pounds. And so will it lay out 800 foot-pounds? I'm not sure. I don't have the means to test that accurately, the tightening force. But again, in our world, it really doesn't matter a lot when you're looking at fastening torque. So let's go on to loosening. All right, so to test nut busting force or loosening force, I'm going to go ahead and torque these 3 fasteners here to 500 foot-pounds. I'm just doing that to show you how quickly it'll break free those 500 foot-pound fasteners. Then we're going to move on to the big guys, and we're going to go 700 foot-pounds, then 900 foot-pounds, then 1050, and 1200. Now that 1200 is 50 pounds over what it claims to do, but let's test it out and see. So again, those 3 at 500 foot-pounds. Now we're going to 700. So 150 foot-pounds times 6 should give us 900. So we're going to 150 foot-pounds. Okay, so we're going to start here at the 500 foot-pounds. We're going to break those 3 free, all at 500. So 500, 500, 500. Then we'll put on our bigger socket. So let me make sure I'm in speed mode 3. And I have a full battery in reverse. Yep. Here we go. 500 foot-pounds. Okay, let's put on our bigger socket. And now 700 foot-pounds. Okay, 900 foot-pounds. 1050. And now 1,200 foot-pounds. Okay, did that quite easily. I shouldn't say too easy, but after hitting several seconds on the 1,200 foot-pounds, it still broke that free. Obviously at 500 foot-pounds, no problem whatsoever. I'm not going to push these fasters any further. In fact, we've kind of maxed out our torque multiplier, so we're going to have to figure out something on our rig to go a little higher. But the Flex does everything it says it would do. Now, again, on the tightening side, can't get real close to measuring that. I know there's other hydraulic methods to do that, but I like typical more real world scenario, even though I know this is not rusty fasters, but these are repeatable tests that I can prove over and over. So it makes my testing, it makes me feel better about my testing methods when I can repeat that and be able to kind of validate the results that we're getting. So now let's show one more mode. Let's show the auto mode here. So I'm going to put it in auto. And what that's going to do is you'll notice a couple of things. Number one, a lot of times in auto mode, some of the impact wrenches work in forward and reverse. Not the case on the Flex. That's just going to be in loosening mode because I've got it in auto, and if I hold my finger on the trigger, it's just going to keep hitting. So I let off or it's going to keep going. So it doesn't do anything in tightening. If you've got it in auto and you're tightening, it's just like you're in power mode 3. It's wide open. It's hit hard as long as you keep your finger on the trigger. Now if I go to reverse, I'm still in auto. You see my finger is still on the trigger. So that's what that auto mode is going to do, is basically a bolt removal mode. So when I go into reverse and it backs off, as soon as it senses that it's backed off, it will stop the tool. And there we go again, finger on the trigger, but it stopped. Okay, so I know we didn't go head to head with any other high torque impact wrenches, but we went head to head with basically their claims of the tool of 1,150 foot-pounds of nut busting or loosening torque. Did it do that? Yeah, we think so. We tightened all the way up to 1,200 foot-pounds and it broke that free, no problem at all. In fact, I don't know, would it hammer 5 or 6 seconds and then break that free? So it did very well with that. Now the tightening side, you saw our math on that and how we did that. So, you know, do I think we're in the window of 800 foot-pounds? Yes, I do. Am I interested in making sure that we're right at 800 foot-pounds on the fastening side? No, I'm really not. I know the construction side of the trades, they like the tightening thing. So in other words, they're driving long lag bolts or anchors into concrete, things like that. So if you're needing that 800 foot-pounds of force, then that may be important to you. I know most of my viewers, typically they're in the automotive or diesel or heavy equipment world. We're more interested in how do we back, or can we back things off, and what type of force are we getting when we're in the loosening mode. And so that's why I focus more on that. So again, on the tightening side, I think we're in that window of 800 foot-pounds. I showed my math of, you know, I think we're somewhere 675 to 700 foot-pounds. Could I leave it hitting longer to achieve that? Yeah, maybe. Now, when you look at price on this, you can buy this kit for $299. Here's the kicker on this. Now that comes with a 5 amp hour battery and this 165 or 160 watt charger. By the way, they have like a 280 watt charger as well that's even faster. And as I mentioned, the parent company, they know how to make batteries and chargers. I'm telling you, they're one of the best in the industry, period, of being able to reliably charge batteries fast and keep them safe. So keep them cool while they're charging them very fast. Anyway, so $299. Now, typical is a 5-year warranty with the tool. But here's the kicker. If you purchase in the calendar year of 2021 and you register the tool within 30 days, lifetime warranty. They're calling it their founder's warranty. In other words, If you step up and buy a Flex tool in their entry year, then they're willing to warranty this for a lifetime. That's tool, battery, and charger. So that's hard to pass up, and again at $300. Now, I know that a lot of other tools, or a lot of other impact wrenches, you can buy a tool 2 battery combo or 2 battery kit with the tool, and typically you're kind of above $400. So is it a great deal at $299? I think so. I mean, you look at the Cobalt side of things and you can buy it at $269, but that's a slimmer battery pack as well. So you're getting a full 5 amp hour battery, you're getting the charger, very fast charger, as well as the high torque impact that's delivering 1,250 foot-pounds of force for under $300, and a lifetime warranty. It's hard to pass up. Check it out at Lowe's. You can also check them out at flexpowertools.com. And if you don't mind, would you keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter? Would you hit that like and subscribe button if you like this video? If you didn't like our video, by all means, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.